Yo, welcome back, boys. Divisional round, and we had some awesome football games last weekend. Unfortunately, obviously the Eagles didn't get it done, but every game seemed like it was going down to the wire. Like every game, it was just the first three specifically, right? I mean, that was like you had to be watching the entire game because it literally came down to the last drive. And
Just
in
rough
that,
outs.
I think I saw something like in that too. Well, leading up to the Eagles game, of course, but like the team that was like down in the last minute or whatever won the game in all the games, or it was just something crazy. It was like
Yeah, I think 3 of
just
the games we had, like, 4 touchdowns scored in the 4th quarter, kind
yeah,
of a back and forth like we saw, with the Jags-Bills just going shot for shot, and then Josh Allen takes it on his back, with a minute left. Stafford does the same thing. I swear we were texting about it, like, way too much time for Stafford, and he
Mhm.
he had no sense of urgency.
no,
It was so tactical, just nice and easy each throw,
yeah,
it was beautiful, and then
yeah.
not
It
enough
almost looked like a
time.
practice, like just like, hey,
Yeah,
let's see if this works. It was
that's
just
what I'm
like
Mhm.
saying,
it didn't even look like they were sweating it. It was like
and
there's no one even near anyone. Like
and then same thing, the Bears not quite
The
as
Bears.
not quite as
I think they
tactical, but
scored a little early too. Yeah,
but that
Mhm.
was beautiful, and then they scored early, but then what? We didn't see it out of Jordan Love. We didn't see him just have that heroic, last drive like we were expecting, so,
yeah,
yeah, great games for sure. All
Good
those
slate.
matchups were pretty cool.
yeah, absolutely. We'll dive right into some of the fun stats that I have, and then we'll just get into the four games that we have. Speaking of the Bears, Ben Johnson has been holding practice for the Bears outdoors with no heaters. The weather for the Bears and Rams game is going to be crazy. I have another fun stat about that, but it's looking like it's going to be almost an 80-degree difference in what the teams have been playing and practicing in. So that is quite a bit of difference for the feels like. When we're talking about 80
Mhm.
degrees when one team's
Yeah.
practicing and the other team's
Yep.
practicing the other, it's a little crazy. Matt, you'll love this because you went absolutely ham on the Bills last week. But only four teams have won a playoff game in 6+ straight years in NFL history. The Patriots, that led to 3 Super Bowls. Chiefs, that led to 3 Super Bowls, and the Cowboys, that led to 3 Super Bowls, and then the Bills, which have 0 Super Bowls. So, had to throw that one in there after I saw that because I was like, "Yeah, that's a stat for Matt."
Yep.
Um, this one's been plastered all over social media. Bo Nix is 1-8 versus winning teams that score more than 17 points. The Bills have scored over 17 points in 14 out of their last 17 regular season games. So we might see the number one seed Denver get knocked out pretty early in that matchup. Josh Allen, first player in NFL history to complete at least 80% of his passes and rush for multiple touchdowns in a playoff game. So that one seemed like it's happened before though. When I read that, I was like, that can't be, but
Mhm.
that's a fact, right?
Yep.
Leading back to the regular season though, Jonathan Taylor, right? This one's a little bit more towards now that the season's over, the awards are coming out, all that stuff. Jonathan Taylor had more rushing touchdowns, 18, than 19 NFL teams this season.
Wow.
More rushing touchdowns than 19 NFL teams this season. That is
Wow.
crazy to
Yeah.
think about. Um, Best completion percentage for the 2025 season. It's funny because you start off and it's like okay, and then it's like oh. So best completion percentage for the 2025 season, top 5, number 1 Drake May, 72%. Mac Jones, number 2, 69.6%. Brock Purdy, 69.4%. Josh Allen, 69.3%, and then Kyler Murray at 68.3%. So kind of Kyler Murray and Mac Jones just kind of putting themselves in the top 5 there. They kind of shock you a little bit.
Right, only
Mhm.
playing half the games though, so
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah.
Um, it's crazy because with we have what 8 teams left, 4 games. We have the healthiest team in the NFL still left in playoffs, the Patriots, and the most injured team in the NFL, the 49ers. And they're still
49ers.
alive and they're still kicking, hoping to get, a championship on both sides there. We talked about all the games being close for the most part. Obviously, the only one that was not close was the Texans Steelers game. CJ Stroud and the Texans won the game by 24 points, right? With that, Stroud fumbled the ball 5 times, lost the ball twice, threw an interception, but the team still won 30-6.
Defense took over.
That's incredible. I
Touchdowns.
Yeah.
wonder how many quarterbacks have ever won fumbling the ball 5 times in a football game, especially in a playoff game, nonetheless.
It can't be a lot.
Yeah, and still put up 30. I mean,
Yeah.
two of them came on the defensive side, but wow.
Yeah. Every year we usually have a lot of these like fun stats where like each remaining quarterback, where they were drafted and stuff like that. This year is pretty interesting because when you look through the quarterbacks, we got Matthew Stafford drafted number 1, Caleb Williams drafted number 1, CJ Stroud drafted number 2, Drake May drafted number 3, Sam Darnold drafted number 3, Josh Allen drafted number 7, Bo Nix drafted number 12, and then Brock Purdy drafted number 262. 262.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. And then the last one I have for you guys, I had to throw this one in there. Marcus, you'll be happy to hear this. Matt, you will not be happy to hear this. Matthew Stafford's stats this season: 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 65% completion percentage. But he's played 2 games this season that were not in a dome, where the temperature was below 50 degrees. His completion percentage dropped to 60%. He threw for 512, so averaging 250 a game, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. We saw 5 out of his 8 interceptions in the entire regular season happen in the 2 games that he played in a situation where he was playing in below 50 degrees. Yeah, so it goes to tell you, man, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold in Chicago.
Well below 50.
We need to play some more games inside then.
Nobody wants that, Matt.
Let's get a roof. Let's get a roof on it. I
love the people that genuinely sit there and say, like, it's funny because obviously me being close to Chicago, I'm getting a lot of Bears stuff. And there's like Detroit fans who are like, Matthew Stafford played in Detroit, bro. He knows tough football. It's like, dude, he played in a dome for half of his games. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, he lost in Green Bay a lot. He lost in Chicago a lot. And like, it's like he's a dome guy, you know? It's like that's just what it is. So it's going to be a real football this Sunday, and it's going to be really, really cold, especially that being the night game. It's only going to get colder and not fun to be playing in that type of condition. So we start off here on the top left. Top left and top right are the Saturday games. So Saturday afternoon game is the Bills at Broncos. Matt, last week you went 4-2. I believe, Marcus, you went 4-2 as well. I went 3-3, and our consensus was 2-1. So to start us off, afternoon, number 1 seed Broncos playing the Bills, number 6 seed in Denver. Matt and Marcus, you guys took the Bills, so I will let you guys take over here.
Go ahead. Take the floor.
He's like, hey, Matt, he's like, listen, man, I need you to convince me.
I know. So it is always tough. You get that team that has, another week of rest. And then what I just noticed as well, the 1 seeds get the Saturday games. So the other teams are coming off of 1 less day of
6 days.
Day of rest. So
short week.
It's short week. You're going into their stadium. But sometimes that week of rest can come back to bite you. The Bills just won a huge game. Josh Allen has all the adrenaline in the world going because he put the team on his back. When the fourth quarter, he went shot for shot, back and forth with the Jags. Like I said, there were 4 touchdowns. It was back and forth in that game. And guess what? Josh Allen was the one that got it done in those games in the fourth quarter. So I have all the confidence, just like I have all season, in Josh Allen leading this team into Denver and taking this team down. Aside from that, what I will say is what you've also heard from me about this team is James Cook in the run game. And when they get him going, they have so much success. It's when they try to stray from that game plan that I think it's where they started to falter this year. So 2 keys to this game: Josh Allen, just keep it going. To me, he plays at that MVP level. and can take over a playoff game. But secondly, get James Cook the ball. I don't care if it's in the passing game. I don't care if it's that dump off to him. Get him the ball. He's the one that can open up this game for you. He's something special that can beat this tough Broncos defense.
Yep, and that's the thing too, is that Broncos defense is, I mean, other than the Texans, who, I mean, have a generational defense, the Broncos ain't far off. And you started talking about the short week, and they got an extra week of rest, and you almost forget too that James Cook and Josh Allen took a beating last week. I mean, there was multiple plays. Josh Allen was getting up limping. I mean, he had like a quad, a hand. I mean, he was taking some. I mean, he put the team on his back. He did what he had to do. Like Jake said earlier in the pod, one of the only quarterbacks ever to go over 80% and 2 rushing touchdowns. It's like he did everything he had to do, and they squeaked out a win. And that's kind of the slate for him going forward. I mean, they're on paper not the better team, but I think they win so heavily in that quarterback situation that you just got to kind of ride with the hot hand and give him the nod. I don't think the Broncos rushing attack scares anybody. I mean, since they lost JK, I think as a team they're averaging like 3.9 a carry. So you kind of also have to rely on Bo Nix. And if you put Bo Nix against Josh Allen, I'm taking Josh Allen 1,000 out of 1,000 times. So, but on the flip side, a turnover or two could really change the tide of this game. And you have that Bills awesome secondary going against Bo Nix, and you have Josh Allen going against one of the best Ds in all of football. So we'll see. But I think they just got to keep the ball in Josh's hand, control that clock, and establish the run and try to squeak out a win in a tough Denver environment.
Yeah. I think everything you guys said is just me playing devil's advocate at that point, right? Because it's Josh Allen. If there's anyone left out of all these teams that I think a quarterback can take over a game, it's Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford, right? Those are the two quarterbacks that stick out to me that when the occasion rises, and I'm still taking Josh over Matthew Stafford. That's just what I'm going to do. I just think the situation that he's been given, this is the least amount of weapons he has. I thought they were going to drop it last week. I really did. It came real close. But I mean, like you said, James Cook banged up, Josh Allen banged up. How many times did the announcer say, "Man, if he's out of this game, man, this is going to be real tough for the." If Josh Allen's gone, there's no way that this Bills team wins. And so I'm not relying on an injury by any means. But like you said, he took a beating late in the season. He had that ankle injury against I think it was the Browns. And I mean that's lingering. You know that it is. He's playing through all of that stuff. I said it earlier. Yes, it's the playoffs without Mahomes. It's the playoffs without Lamar Jackson. It's the playoffs without Joe Burrow. It's the playoffs without all the big guys. But this just isn't the year that he gets it done. He just does not have enough weapons. He just does not have enough, and it's not that I'm heavy on Bo. I mean, you saw the stats. He's 1-8, 1-7, whatever it was. The only team he's beat that scored more than 17 that had a winning record was the Packers. But this is Denver at home, right? So it's going to be, like Matt said, you get the extra rest. Bills are coming in 6 days of rest. They're banged up. They have to travel. They have to do all this stuff. And like you said, there's 3 defenses that are left in this, and that we look at on this slate, and it's the Broncos, the Texans, and Seattle. Those are the 3 defenses that we look at, and we're like, man, that defense can really win some games here. And I just, like you said, everything kind of worked out in their favor. Josh Allen was Superman, like you guys preached about. He had to be Superman to win that game. Back to back, and they snuck by. They snuck by to beat the Jags. Now you're going to be playing in a colder environment. Those ones, they're going to sting a little bit more, right? That injury, you're going to stiffen up more. It's going to be a little bit more sore, a little more sting to it, And I'm taking Denver's defense here, man. I really do think this is where I think it's still a winning season for the Bills. I think this is great for what is done, and I know it'll probably be put against Josh Allen that he couldn't even make it to the AFC Championship without those big names, healthy and in the playoffs and everything else. But you talk about a team that has some of the worst offensive weapons right now. I mean, that's probably them and the Patriots are up there. Them and the Patriots are up there with the worst offensive weapons left.
But
And
this is the game to do it in, because Pat Surtain's gonna if you had a superstar, it doesn't matter because Pat Surtain's gonna shut him down.
right, but any little advantage you have now, Pat Surtain's shutting it down. That's where it
Mhm.
plays into, is like, yeah, okay, Shakir, he had like 10 catches, I think, against the Jags, or it was even more than that. And
Mhm.
that's his go-to guy. And a lot of them were just wide receiver screens. If you don't think that Sean Payton is looking at that matchup and he's ready to go for the Bills, I mean,
Yeah.
he's well aware that he needs to stop Josh Allen. And I just, I think
Yep.
it's just one of those things, man, where I don't want to see it happen. I want to see a good football game. I want to make that very, very
Mhm.
clear. But with how banged up Josh Allen was, man, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise if we see him maybe miss a couple plays and miss a quarter, miss a half, whatever. And I think if he misses more than 2 drives, the Bills can't get it done. I think they're going to
Mhm.
need this game to go their way. And you talk about how might be a couple turnovers late in the season. Josh Allen, he lost a couple games where he was struggling with turnovers, and I think that's where Denver can just win this game. I think this is what we saw with the Texans and Steelers game. I think he can. I think Bo can play remotely close to CJ Stroud. Hopefully, not that many fumbles, but I think if he just plays 1 touchdown, 1 interception, gets it done with the legs a little bit, like, that's really all this Denver Broncos team is gonna need. I mean, they'll need
Mhm.
less out of their offense than the Bills will, and that's just where I lean. I couldn't go
It's a coin
into these
flip.
matchups and go against the 1 seed twice. I just couldn't, like, when you look at it, it's like I couldn't do it. So, that's just where it's at. I think it's gonna be a good football game. Um
Agreed.
and especially to get us started. I mean, we might see that. We might see it come down to the absolute, you know, last drive. So
Yep.
we'll see. And then we have the I'm sorry, Saturday night game.
Mhm.
San Francisco at Seattle. I'm against the grain once again. No big deal. I'm the only one that has the cojones. But
Good
Matt
luck.
Marcus, you guys pick, what we said though too. It was so funny because I literally, Matt, you missed the week 18 episode, but that was week 18 matchup was Seattle going into San Francisco
Mhm.
on week 18 to basically decide the number 1
With the
seed here.
division on the line. Yep.
Divisional line, number 1 seed on the line, all that stuff. And me having Seattle Seahawks winning the NFC West, I still took the 49ers. It's just the funniest thing when you think about it, because it's like, if anyone should be on the Seahawks side right now, it should be me.
That makes
Um,
sense, yeah.
but yeah, I'll let you guys go. You guys have them. Seattle at home. Let's hear it.
Yeah, when you think of unhealthy teams, you think of the 49ers right now. And I mean, their record without Kittle has been abysmal. And when you have a defense the caliber of the Seahawks going against a team that isn't necessarily one dimensional, but you could say they are because they're one dimension CMC. I mean, that he's the motor of that offense. He's getting 7, 8 catches a game. He's getting 15 carries. And the last time he played against Seattle, he had 15 touches for 56 yards. So it's like they really figured him out in week 18, and they might have shut him down earlier once the game got out of hand. But it's it's hard for me to wrap my head around a world where San Francisco is going to score enough to compete. But then on the flip side, you start hearing these reports about Sam Darnold's oblique. So that's the only thing that, kind of put, puts a little doubt in your mind. And with the spread being +7, I definitely love the 49ers spread, but in a head-to-head matchup, I think Seattle has one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. I mean, they have a damn good offense, a damn good defense, and a defense that just makes your life hell. And when you are down weapons and your wide receiver room looks like it does in San Francisco, and now your number one tight end's out too, I don't see how they can keep up. But it all comes down to Sam's health, probably. So let's see if Seattle can run the ball with that two-headed backfield, one of the best in football. And if not, hopefully that oblique hangs in there. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, just like you're talking about Josh Allen maybe being banged up, do you have confidence in Mitch Trubisky stepping in there? I have 0 confidence in Drew Lock stepping in
What?
for Seattle. So yeah, get healthy, Sam, because
Hmm.
it's been special this year. I mean, to me, that's why I'm leaning Seattle here. Is that offense is something special when he's chucking the
Hmm.
ball. When JSN, we saw the one game where who the hell was it? Horton and the other guy scored like 3 touchdowns amongst themselves, right? So, the offense is something special at times. San Francisco's defense might be the one that can stifle them a little bit. But you already talked about it. CMC, the soul sucker, is at it again. He took the health of, unfortunately, Kittle this time to be able to sustain and play another game here and stay healthy.
It's gotten to a point where, like, when I saw Kittle go down, I'm like, oh, that could, because it didn't look bad if you watch it.
It didn't.
It just looked like a normal tackle. You couldn't even see nothing pop or nothing. Wasn't gross. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, literally, like right away. I'm like, Matt, literally, like CMC.
Did you look at CMC and his eyes were glowing at that time because he was
his bicep got 3 inches bigger.
Yep. I'm telling you, that's what's going on here. So, what we did see, it was kind of interesting. Kyle Juszczyk got 4 catches in that game once Kittle went down. So I love San Francisco finding a way, just like with Mac Jones at quarterback. They're finding a way. Guess what? They decided they're going to do. I love when offenses do crazy stuff like Juwan Jennings throwing a touchdown,
passing touchdowns than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, I love when teams find ways like that to be creative, and it's not always just a flea flicker. It's not always that type of a jet sweep that breaks it. I love seeing something like that. It's really cool. But now you use that in the playoffs. So now, what else? What kind of other bags of tricks you have to kind of throw that defense off? So it's going to be interesting. But to me, the way I think Seattle's looked all year carries them into this playoff game right here, and I think they win this one. But last thing, and I'm going against the grain. The fun fact that I had was in the Super Bowl era, and actually in recent history, we've seen 2 teams get to play in a Super Bowl in their home stadium, and they've both won. So we had the Rams do it and Tampa Bay do it just within these last 5 years. The team that's still alive, we've got San Francisco. So if they want to do this historic trend right now, they have the opportunity. They got to stay alive. CMC's got to take down one more player to stay healthy, but they have a chance to do something crazy, which is get to play for a Super Bowl in your home stadium.
Yeah. So one thing right away that is just absolutely mind-boggling to think about, which I don't know if you guys saw this because neither one of you guys brought it up, which, I mean, I'm not saying that as a negative thing because you guys are going for Seattle, so it wouldn't make sense for you to bring it up. But Fred Warner is game time decision.
I saw that
94 days after.
Insane.
94 days. So that is, I mean, you talk about some of what I always like hearing is some of the guys that at least I respect, that do some sort of social media or NFL coverage now that they're retired and they've had successful careers and whatnot. And the one thing we hear from a lot of them, and they say, is this 49ers defense on paper, you have no idea. You couldn't list off 5 starting defensive players in the 49ers defense right now if I gave you 30 minutes to do so, right? So, but it's a bunch of guys that are hungry. It's a bunch of guys that are trying to prove a point. And that is the same thing the Eagles had when they won the Super Bowl. We had nobody special. We snuck into the playoffs, wild card team. Like it was. I'm talking about with Nick Foles days.
Carson Wentz here.
Yes.
Yep.
So they gave me that vibe of like this. That's fine. We might not be the most paid, 99 overall on Madden. Like that's fine. But guess what? I'm still gonna hit you hard as fuck. Like I'm gonna make sure you feel it, right? And there's something about that defense right now. If they gain Fred Warner, it's like, man, that is game changing for the 49ers, especially even with the offensive limits, with Kittle. They've played most of the season without Kittle. So they're still 12-5. They can win games without him. They've shown that Tonjes has really stepped in. You said Juszczyk, he's really stepped in. CMC getting 8 catches out of the backfield. But there's one thing in this matchup that I couldn't. I literally had to do my research. And I couldn't. I'm like, why does this feel so familiar? Now we're looking at minus 345 plus 275. It should be a no brainer to go with Seattle. Okay. So last year, Vikings go into week 18. Sam Darnold as a quarterback playing the Lions. They win the game. They win the division. They get the number one, or they get the number 2 seed. 14-3. Actually, no, they got the number 1 seed, didn't they? They got the number 1 seed, I believe. Or no, the Eagles get the number 1 seed. I'm sorry. Vikings get the number 2 seed though. But they go into week 18. Obviously, you and the Vikings, Matt, are competing for that the divisional title. You want that, right? And home field, right? They go into the game. They win. They go into the playoffs the next round, 14-3. Everyone's favored. You know, that's the team. The Rams are banged up. All this other stuff. Sam Darnold goes in, has one of his worst completion percentages, throws a pick, gets sacked 9 times, and they lose 27-9. As a 14-3 team. As a 14-3 team. And so I look into this matchup and I'm like, okay, he gets a week to rest, which we all know sometimes that is the worst thing that you can possibly have is a week rest. And then you're going against the defense. If they get Fred Warner back, everything that you've been watching on tape this week is just not a thing anymore. Robert Saleh is going to confuse the living hell out of Sam Darnold in this matchup. I just know that he will. He's going to make Sam Darnold's job a living hell. Just like when Sam Darnold was on the Jets and he was seeing ghosts. Remember that? It's going to be the same exact thing. It's going to be the same exact. If there's one coach that knows how and knows every weakness of Sam Darnold, it's Robert Saleh, who literally had to deal with Sam Darnold, right? So everything, I'm like looking through all this stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the same thing as last year, a 14-3 Sam Darnold team, important playoff game against a good team, against a pretty good defense, a very good head coach. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, this is going to be, like you said, there's offensive limits, right? But Sam Darnold has cracked under pressure at the biggest stage. And we all going into this season can all agree here. When he got signed to Seattle, all of us were kind of like, I mean, he did it with 14-3 with Vikings, but the Vikings were loaded on offense. Can he do it? And then even this season, the 28th, 29th in the league in the pass attempts. I mean, yeah, him and JSN had an unbelievable season, but the Seattle Seahawks were very run dependent, and the 49ers are very, very good at stopping the run. And we saw, you know, so I was like, man, if there's a 1 seed I'm going to go against these 2 of these matchups, I'm like, it's got to be the 49ers. And I love Kyle Shanahan. I'm like still shocked that he has not won a Super Bowl with the amount of times that he's gotten there, with how good of a head coach that he is.
Agreed.
And like you said, these games get a little tricky when it comes down to like, this is the 3rd time playing each other. So it gets a little tricky. And when I just look at it, even with Kittle out, I like the 49ers offense just maybe a slightly better because of CMC and Matt, like you said, the trickery that they do. They're not willing, or they're not scared. They're not scared to do things that are just out of the ordinary. I mean, we might see another player pass in this game. We might see Juszczyk get 5 catches. It's going to be, they're going to be scheming up something. And even those backup tight ends, they really filled. You're not going to fill the shoe of Kittle, but they were still in that role and still were very, very. I mean, a lot of people picked him in fantasy football, which just goes to show you there at least was some kind of value there. You know, in the middle of the season. So that was my take on it.
Talking us into it.
Yeah, that was my take on it. Was
a very good take.
I just, like I said, I was like, man, why is this so familiar? Like, and I just started looking through it. I'm like, damn,
well, deja vu.
So I literally reposted my TikTok about Sam Darnold doing that in the playoffs this week, and that was my caption, was deja vu, or does Darnold get it done? Because
it's a career defining moment too. It really is, because if he goes back-to-back seasons as a 14-3 team, which, I mean, 14 wins. Well, I think I gave a stat about last week. There's only a couple quarterbacks that have done 14-win seasons. So to do it back-to-back seasons, he's in elite territory with that, and to be knocked out pretty early, especially in your first matchup here, not
and that's got to
exactly
be in the back
ideal.
of his head.
Yeah.
You know, coming off the year he had last year where everything was going their way, and
Playing
then
the head
just to
coach that
lay a
gave up on
stinker.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
or I mean, not the head coach, but you know what I'm saying. Robert Saleh, defensive
yeah,
coordinator, but the head
yeah.
coach that was his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be. But either way, still gonna be a really fun one. I generally don't see the -7 here. I think it's gonna be. I think it could be. I think it could
it's a
be very
divisional
very
game.
close. Yeah,
Anything can happen.
it's gonna be gritty. What was the week? Wasn't the week 18 matchup super low too? Wasn't it like
Mm-hmm.
13 to like maybe not 13, but it was like super super low scoring though. I
Mm-hmm.
remember being disappointed with that game. But Sunday afternoon, the only consensus pick of the week, the Patriots. Texans most likely should be out without Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Which no Nico Collins, I'm out. Like,
Yeah, the little offense you had is
yeah, I'm
now
out. Yeah.
shut down, right?
So I mean,
Yeah.
still, I mean, Matt, you know more about it, concussion protocol and stuff like that. But like, you got 6 days, right? I mean, they played Monday night, so you got 6 days once again. And I just
It's really tough to clear the concussion protocol nowadays. So, you know, if the NFL's hurting for money and they really need him to play this, you can see him get pushed through, but I don't see it happening because you have to have essentially 2 good practice days.
Yep.
I don't see that happening, in this scenario.
yeah, and still kind of the same thing, right? We talked about Houston. I mean, Marcus, me and you completely broke the Steelers streak there, which led to Mike
Yeah.
Tomlin,
Yeah.
letting go. But 23 home games, whatever. But I mean, the Patriots it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. Houston's got to go in. We saw. I mean, the weather did affect Stroud. I gave you guys the stat: 5 fumbles. I mean, that's
Insane.
not good ball security. I mean, that's not ideal whatsoever when it comes to that offense. And then, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
an offense with no Nico Collins. I'll pass. I'll take the Patriots and what they. I mean, and we didn't talk about the Patriots defense, but Patriots defense. I mean, honestly, I think if you look it up on ESPN right now, I think they're actually ranked like number 3 defense. Just with like
Yeah,
yards per. Yeah, and so
they're solid D.
I mean, this one's gonna be, you know, very very low scoring. Hopefully, right, Marcus?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. I think truly the first team to score probably 2 touchdowns wins this game.
Yep.
And the Texans defense is so damn good, and I don't think they get enough credit for how just dominant they are. I mean, they are on another. This is kind of like that generational defense you almost saw with like, I don't know. I don't want to say Legion of Boom or anything because they were just. I mean, they were studs. I mean, they had 5 Hall of Famers on their side, but you have at least 3, you would think, on the Texans right now, and I just don't see a world where that offense gets it done though.
I know.
And without Nico Collins, and I don't see Woody Marks and Nick Chubb going for 165, 170 yards, whatever it was, on 5.8 a clip against this Patriots defense. And if you're relying on CJ Stroud with his playoff resume coming off of a win, but one of the ugliest wins in recent history, they just don't have a lot going for them. As good as that defense is, but back to my point, it almost feels like the Denver Broncos defense in those Peyton years. That last year where that defense drug them to the Super Bowl and they got blown out by Seattle. It's like that defense was the real deal, and you could see a defense of this caliber get you over the hump, but everything has to go right, and your quarterback has to be smart and has to keep the ball, and you have to run the ball. And I don't see either of those things happening against the Patriots. Not saying they could or couldn't, I'm sorry, but I mean, that's a tough ask against a very solid offense and defensive team that's well coached, who has the quarterback advantage, who has the running back advantage, who has the wide receiver room advantage. It's going to be a low scoring game. I could see a 17-14, slugfest here. But as long as they can keep Drake May on his feet, I think they win this game.
Yeah, it's kind of like that same thing, like you mentioned that with the defense. Defense can play lights out, but then Stroud's got to stop turning the football over like that.
Yep.
And like, not to bring it back to the game, but that was my take with the Broncos is like the defense can take over, and I'm not. You don't hear Bo Nix turning the football over 6 times, 5 times. Like he doesn't turn the football over a bunch. That's what's led them to 14-3 and number 1 seed. But
Yeah.
we saw CJ Stroud. I mean, that stat, it's like I mean, obviously he wants to forget it, but that's an unforgettable stat for people like us that are I mean, you can't just be confident and be like, I'm gonna take the Texans this week. He's not gonna throw the ball 5 times. It's like
Mm,
Butterfingers back there can't hold the ball when it's under 50 degrees.
mhm.
So it's like as much as we love to see that defensive, that win, like you said, it's a lot has got to go right on the offensive side of the ball, and I
A
just have
lot.
very, very little faith.
Mhm.
Got anything for us, Matt?
No,
We
I
Did
just
we take it all away from you?
yeah, no, you guys, I talked about it last week, and it was the Texans defense is what was going to
Yeah.
win that game, and it did.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what wins this game here. I think the Patriots are the ones that can actually overpower the Texans with their defensive game too. So I almost selfishly want the Patriots to win so that I want to see a Josh Allen, Drake May conference
Yeah.
championship. That's the matchup I would rather see. So that's why I'm hoping for both those teams to pull it out to see that game. So
Yeah. And like I said pre-production, with your predictions, you have the AFC East in the AFC Championship and the NFC
Mhm.
West in the NFC Championship, with Seattle and the Rams here. Which leads us to the Sunday night game, which like we talked about, very, very cold. Very, very, very cold. Um, I mean, Matt, me and you are feeling it right now. Very, very cold.
yep, we gotta
uh,
shovel ourselves out already. So
yeah, it's very, very cold. But me and Marcus sticking with the Bears. I was going with the Bears, Marcus. So it was funny because I thought out of 3 of these matchups, I was gonna be by myself. Besides our consensus, but then literally you type and then you were type like, actually, no, give me the Bears. Like, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, there we go. I'm like, last game of the week. You went with the Steelers with me last week too. I'm like, maybe we can correct it out a little bit. I'll let you go first. On your Bears take because I'm intrigued. With the last second switch.
I know it, and it doesn't feel great. It's one of those
Damn
games
it!
where
It's not a good. Okay,
Get your
restart.
back.
Restart. All right,
Get your
hold on.
back. Yeah,
if you want me to talk you
Hold on.
into
Restart.
it,
All right, come on,
yeah,
Marcus. What's your take on the Bears?
I might be not be walking you off the ledge here. So eh, the Bears haven't put together a complete game in a couple weeks. It seems like they're missing for a quarter, 2 quarters, and when you get into a playoff game against a team like the Rams, who are so solid on both sides of the ball, they're the Rams, the Seahawks, the Patriots come to mind when you think of. I mean, rosters that can do it up and down on both sides of the ball, and Stafford's Stafford. I mean, he's having a career year. He's on top of his game. Puka's clicking. Devontae Adams is healthy now. They got a two-headed backfield. I mean, there's a lot to love with a McVay offense with 5, 6 legit weapons. But there's something magical about the season. I mean, we see it week in and week out. I mean, I think the only time I've really seen them come short in the clutch was that the first game against the Packers when they lost. And, he came down there and kind of had DJ Moore on the far side of the field, didn't see him, kind of threw a ball up, it gets picked off. And from then on, it's like, I don't know, it seemed like a good loss. Like they had a chip on their shoulder, going through it. They didn't finish great, but they just have a lot going for them, and Ben Johnson against Sean McVay, if you're an offensive mind, you're excited for this game, and especially to see what they game plan for when it's 2-degree wind chill and 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds. So I know we were joking in text earlier about that 48.5 over under. Like, as much as you want to go under because of the climate, everything on the offensive, when you're reading those rosters and looking at those coaches, it's like it's hard to bet the under.
And they all know that
So
that weather's there, right? I mean, these guys,
yep,
Ben Johnson,
yep.
McVay, they are cooking up everything they can
Oh
possibly
yeah,
think of to make sure
yep.
that they're going to get that ball moving down the field. And that's part of the reason why, like, everything I've been seeing, and maybe this is starting to become more of a bias thing because I'm just seeing so much Bear stuff with everything going on around here. Um, but man, it was just like I was impressed. I was impressed with the Bears. I mean, 21-3
Hmm.
going into half. 21 to
Yep.
3. I was like, wow, that they just like that was just this was not their year, evidently, because they just did not the Packers like came to play. I'm like, wow.
Hmm.
I was very shocked. I was like, well, there goes our parlay. Like, we're done. And then it was just like it came out, got a field goal, got another field goal, ended up scrapping up a touchdown. And then you could just see like all these plays. It's like, holy shit. And like you said, Matt, like Stafford, it was like boom, boom, boom. Like nothing happened. Caleb Williams get down. Boom, boom, boom. Like nothing happened. It's like these are two head coaches that it's almost like they have their playbook, right? And they're like reading it first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. And then that fourth quarter comes around and it's just like they're flipping it around real quick and they're just like, let me make sure this drives a touchdown here. Like they haven't seen this yet. And then it's just like boom, boom, boom. And it's just like they can get down in the field in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And so I think this game genuinely comes down to the wire. I think it's going to be a really, really fun one to watch. I think the weather has a very big play into it, especially with the stats that I read for Stafford, 5 picks in 2 games, under 50 out of a dome. Like that's not great. This is what they're playing in. I mentioned the Bears are practicing in this, and he took away all of the, sideline warmers, everything Ben's making sure that this team's ready to go. And I think there's certain moments in teams where we see the team completely bought in, and that was last week. Like if there's a guy that was maybe 80% in, 20% like they're all in. Like they would die for Ben. They would do anything for Ben. One thing that I loved, which Matt, we talked about, maybe they scored a little bit too early on that play, was that play that they ran was fake wide receiver screen. Loveland goes up the field. They ran that play on the first drive, and it was a screen to DJ Moore, and it went for like 5-6 yards. Same formation, right? They ran that formation one time. On the last drive when they ran it, 49ers came in, the safety dropped down because they thought it was a wide receiver screen. Loveland fake blocked, went up the field. I mean, that is just like not even talked about as an offense. Like he had that play set aside to where he needed Loveland to get open. And same formations. I mean, literally, they took an overview picture of it, and it was the same exact formation. Guys lined up, same thing. They played it off well. Everyone did their job, and then it's like he's wide open for a touchdown. So it's like I think we're going to see those. I think we're going to see a lot of friction. You're going to see some punts and punt back and draw, and then this and then that, and a field goal here, and then you're going to see boom, big play, and then boom, big play, and then you're going to see a field goal, and then a punt, and then boom, big play. Yeah. That's just kind of it's going to be this game. It's going to be big or nothing, and that's how it's going to be. And I'm just excited because McVay's cooking something up with Puka. Ben's cooking stuff up with both running backs and Loveland. I mean, we saw Loveland go for I think 150, 160 last game.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
Incredible game.
I mean, we saw it with the Lions. Like he loves. Obviously Sam Laporta had a great run with him. He loves drawing those plays up. But I think it almost felt like Caleb was leaning on that for those moments. So, kind of like what you're saying, that's probably Ben drawing that up. It looked like that's what, because to me, that was always the knock on Caleb is if his first read's not there, it goes to shit, right? So as long as Ben can draw it up for him to be that simplistic of here's the play scheme to where just go to him, it was working, right? But he did show. I'm actually surprised. He showed that he can lead a team, score that last drive when you need to. Again, I really thought under those circumstances with that much time left, Green Bay was going to, still be able to come back and potentially win it. You're going to have to do that again because if there is literally any amount of time on the clock and you give Stafford the ball, he's going to go down and score. He's going to win the game. So you have to be able to make that literally last second drive and score and win. Otherwise, you're going to lose this game. That's how I see this game, going down. If Stafford can do it, which we know he can, with any time left, he's going to win this game. So the knock on this game is going to be the weather, and it's how bad that's going to actually affect Caleb Williams, which hopefully he's used to it now this season, and Matthew Stafford, and if he can keep those old man hands warm, and drive down. But to me, who would you rather have? You've got Byron Young, you've got Jared Verse, wreaking havoc on Caleb Williams. I think that's the defense that I'm going to pick in this game. I think Caleb Williams. I think it was 2 red zone touch or interceptions in the game against Green Bay. It was tough to watch. Caleb had to figure it out. Now he did in the second half, but now you're telling me that a Rams defense, just like you alluded to it before with Sam Darnold in the playoffs, absolutely just crushing him. I think that's what happens here again. I think Jared Verse can take over a game. Byron Young can take over a game on the defensive side and make Caleb Williams, kind of lose that moniker of Iceman now. I think he's going to get rocked in this game. He might throw a couple of picks again. And that's why I think the Rams are the team that's going to, be able to squeak it out here at the end of the game.
Yeah. That's why I think it's so interesting because, obviously Stafford's done his whole career. He's just been known as the guy. Same thing with Rodgers. You give him any at a time, and it's just like, well, here we go. And it's like you said, Marcus, since that Packers loss, which it came down to the wire, he threw, he threw the pick in the, in the end zone when they were playing in Green Bay. And it's since then, every game they've won on the last drive, and it was led by Caleb Williams with extremely impressive throws. And one throw that we didn't bring up in that Packers, the Packers Bears game was 4th and 10, game on the line, down 2 possessions, off 1 foot, Michael Jordan thing, and then throws it right into it.
That's beautiful.
5 guys, right into it, and he's done it multiple times. And it's people say, and I was one of them. Look at his completion percentage, one of the lowest in the season. And they think also one of the most drops in the league. Also leads the league in throwaways, which is great. So I would rather my quarterback throwing it away that's not afraid to throw it away, and who cares about my completion percentage? I'm just going to make sure they don't get the ball, versus a quarterback that's taking a sack, like we talked about. Sam Darnold, 9 sacks in a playoff game. I'm going to take the guy that's, hey, I'm just going to throw this away. Hey, I'm just going to throw this away. That's probably been in his ear of hey, read it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. It's not there, throw it away. Just don't take the sack.
That's what I'm telling you. That's Caleb. I don't think. Ben Johnson's offense is a hard offense to run, right? So I think, again, I love the fact that he's willing to do that, because to me, I don't think he has the vision to go to his checkdowns, to his progressions. He's seeing it. Ben Johnson draws it up, but then, like you're saying, if he can throw it away and not be stupid with the ball like he did in the red zone 2 times against Green Bay, then you have a better opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think with that weather and that stat you said earlier about Stafford being 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions against a Chicago team who's had 22 turnovers this year, I think they lead the NFL. You could see it going either way. You could see that Rams defense, that pass rush really making their life hell. But at the same time, Ben Johnson's going to get that running game going to kind of slow them guys down. So this is going to be a treat. This is 2 offensive gurus, some of the best guys in the entire world at doing what they do with weapons galore and some shit. All good football weather.
I will say one thing I don't like, and Matt, I want your take on it, but I need you to completely take yourself out of complete bias out of this. Because I know you're picking the Rams, but take yourself completely out of bias out of this. I don't like that Sean McVay pretty much with his response of no, he didn't didn't deny it and didn't confirm it. He basically confirmed it, that him and Matt LaFleur have been talking about what his game plan was against the Bears all season long. That's kind of horseshit.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you utilize? What other teams are doing that?
Collusion.
Yeah, what other teams are doing that? If this was going against the Lions, you'd be pissed. You'd be like, that's not fair. That's not giving them basically, hey, this is all of our reports. We have 3 full season reports on this guy. It's come on, that's not fair.
Listen, just like he said in the interview.
See, he's not gonna be. All right, we're moving on to the pod. He's gonna be
lawyer.
Film. He's gonna be lawyer, Marcus. No, he's gonna do the whole
everything's
thing.
on. Everything's on.
If this was Rams at Lions, dude, and McVay was talking to LaFleur and Ben Johnson, he would be livid.
Matt would have his pitchfork and
dude, he'd be
out.
He'd be suing LA Rams.
Under the circumstances, I can see why you would think that it's a little.
But no
shitty.
other teams are doing it. That's what I'm just saying. It's just
I know.
It's like.
It kind of reminds you of those teams that play, they got a matchup coming up, and all of a sudden they're signing the 3rd string quarterback who was just cut. It kind of it falls in line with that, but now you're talking about a head coach,
right? And head coaches that are going to still be in the It's not like LaFleur. I would understand it more if LaFleur lost his job. The Packers are extending him, and he's helping a NFC team who's had more success than him win the playoff. That seems horseshit to me. That just seems like. because 100% they're talking about it. It's just like I don't
Yeah.
know. I just
That seems like Daddy Ben rolled into town and spanked my butt in the playoffs and embarrassed me, and now I got to make sure they don't do what I can't do.
He gave me that quick handshake, and I didn't like it.
That belt. Yeah, that was
LaFleur did it first, though.
aggressive.
I saw the
Did-
first matchup. Yeah, I saw the first matchup.
Yeah.
Then the second one was weird, and then it is weird. I'm actually kind of excited to see how it plays out. Like I was actually somewhat excited that LaFleur is probably going to stay with the Packers because
Mhm.
now I'm excited to see what the fuck is going to happen with that
Yeah.
like in the future because there's going to be something that
Yeah.
ends up there's going to be some
100%.
fireworks. So
Especially they asked Ben about the Packers in that interview. He's like, it's a rivalry.
yeah.
This is how it's
Well,
supposed to be.
and he had his shirt off in the locker room yelling "fuck the Packers" or whatever. Like that
Yeah,
was great. You
yeah.
don't see coaches do all that stuff, so it's like
No,
it's kind of
the
crazy.
game meant a lot.
Yeah. Parlay last week missed on the last leg.
The first two hit.
Matt,
which
who were
are
the first two?
It's in line. It's in succession. Last week was, I think it was the guest that blew it
the
for
question
us.
mark guest. Gotcha. Well, we have him on the thumbnail this time, so maybe he'll. And I love that you bumped his up to the top, Matt. Just like maybe give him a little like that's his pick at the top. Like, hey, buddy, you'll get it this time.
You got it this time.
But like I told you, Matt, it's actually funny because your pick was first, right? Eagles, getting an interception on Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
boom,
Mhm.
hit, and then
Right away.
went to the Bears late, that night pretty much, or the next whatever, and then it ended up being his on Monday or whatever, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and so now it's the same thing. Bills game is first, then the 49ers, and then the Patriots. So it's going to go Matt first, me second, Marcus third. So we'll see if we can get it done this time. We were close. I was thinking about the cash out too because the cash out was juicy going into that, and I was like, man, that'd be nice. But I was like, I can't do it. We got to hit one with all of us. I can't cash out. So Marcus, we got you. You have the Texans versus the Patriots under 40.5. Obviously, that's why we juiced you up there when we were talking about it a little bit. I took CMC anytime touchdown. I think we're all in agreement that the soul sucker himself.
He's due.
He's gonna get in. I mean, they've got no one else to throw to. He might get 30 touches in this game, legitimately.
He should.
And then Matt, obviously, first thing you talked about on this episode, James Cook, unbelievable player. He's gonna get in. Very reliant on him, especially Josh Allen. Even with him being a little banged up, like I said, right? He needs help. Superman still needs a little bit of help. So let him get those instead of maybe pushing him as much as they have been with all the injuries that Josh Allen's got going on. Maybe they just give the ball to James Cook instead. So, but as always, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Next week we have the obviously AFC Championship, NFC Championship. So 2 games ahead of us. And then we have the Pro Bowl week, that is the one time that we actually take a break during the season, Matt, which I'm sure me and you I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it. I'm like,
it's a long year.
It's been a long season, but it's been fun. So
it's been a blast. Like when you think about like the years that we've had, this has been the best podcast year that we've had to date. We've doubled our numbers across all socials and everything else. It's just like you said, we're doing a lot behind the scenes to make sure that we're able to do this. When we're here, right? When we're doing all this is like when it's awesome.
It's the easy part.
This is the easiest part.
Enjoyable.
And then we got to get off and get the clips and schedule and all that other stuff. But either way, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, we wouldn't we wouldn't have anyone viewing this unless you guys were giving us your time. So we appreciate that. Marcus, we appreciate you for another week. But other than that is all that I got. You guys got anything? Marcus, Matt, anything you want to say?
No, I think we were treated to a great slate of games last week, and I think this week is going to be even better. I don't see a single game that should get out of hand, and a lot of good head coaching matchups, quarterback matchups, defensive matchups. It's a great playoff year to be an NFL fan. So
absolutely
look forward to it.
Absolutely, Matt.
No, good.
All right. Sure you don't want to side with us on the Matt LaFleur collusion?
No, I mean the only thing I was gonna
whatever, dude. You're already like Sean Payton. I mean, you're already like targeting the Bills.
The only thing I was gonna add, I was gonna go off topic real quick, is Red Wings finally made the right decision and retired Sergei Fedorov's number.
You went there. That was sick.
I was there with my brother. That was an amazing moment to actually be able to witness. It was really cool seeing 91 go up in the rafters. So, thank you, Red Wings, for actually making right decision there. And that was one of my childhood, favorite players. So it was really cool actually being able to see that in person.
Absolutely. Pictures looked awesome, man. I
Yep.
was excited for you. Other than that, though, that's all we got. Check out our socials. Make sure you guys are following us on our socials. We do have a link tree in our description or bio, whatever the hell. You can figure it out if you really try hard enough.
Yep.
But love you guys. We will see you guys next week. Later.
See ya.